welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at something that's quite unique. The title or the thumbnail might have given it away, but let's see if you can spot it before I say it. Here I have an Apple Watch Ultra, or do I? Taking a closer look at this, from a distance it definitely looks like an Apple Watch Ultra, but here's what an actual Apple Watch Ultra looks like, and you can see that there are some major differences. There are some similarities. They do look, similar if I move them real fast. The weight is definitely different on them, and you can see here the original one, it's kind of more round. This one's more square. The crowns, this one clicks for some reason, and this one's silent. You can hear this click. You can feel this one more than hear it. Anyway, let's take a look at this fake Apple Watch Ultra, because it's not working. I went for a swim, and let's see how they designed it, if it's fixable or if it's just a piece of junk. I don't even know where to start on this thing. Do I go in through the back? Do I try to go in through the front? Let's try the front for now. Let's see if we can even slide a tool in there. Let's use some isopropyl alcohol. Doesn't seem like it wants to open up. And for all I know, this screen only comes off if you take apart the rest of the watch. I'm trying to slide in plastic and see if we can start cutting through any potential adhesive that's holding this down. Let's try the back. All right, we're getting a little bit of movement out of the back, so we'll slice around, and it's definitely not made of glass. It's flexing decently. All right, we're starting to see a little gap form in there. Seeing some wires, a battery. There's definitely a little lithium battery in there. Got what looks like a potentially a mini wireless charging unit. Yeah, there we go. Some type of little wireless charging coil. There's a little logic board in there with all the components exposed, which you would never see on an Apple Watch. This is very unique, but it looks like for the most part, the rest of the stuff does need to come off through the front. So I'm actually going to try to close this back up temporarily so I don't mess anything up. And let's see if we can actually get this screen off. I have no idea if it's an LCD somehow or if it's an OLED panel. Me putting alcohol in there might affect that. All right, off camera, I desoldered those two little wires that were coming from that back piece. And I noticed that I could actually maneuver the battery out. And there's the back of the screen. So we can actually push it through and open it up from this side. And it looks like it actually is an LCD. That white strip is typically an indicator of a backlight. So let's see if we can pop the screen all the way off. And look at that, we've got a few little ZIF connectors. I mean, they got that part right. Let's go ahead and disconnect what I'm assuming is the digitizer and backlight display. And then look at that teeny tiny logic board. All right, so we've got the battery soldered right there. There's the positive and negative. We've got the crown, which you just see there's this little peg, this little square peg that was in there, and this is compressed up against the battery. Wasn't even secured. It's not even bolted down. It's literally just compressed in that little area against the battery. So you can get the click. And it looks like this button just compresses a standard button there. And we've got another ZIF connector here for the wireless charging unit. A little plastic piece that just fell out. Looks like a speaker secured in there with some like silicone, along with the microphone. Instead of brackets and screws, they just glued everything in. I'm going to go under the microscope real quick and see if we can see any issues with like water damage, because that's what happened to this watch, is water damage. So I don't see any from here, but let's go look. All right, so looks like we got our positive and negatives there. Let me quickly desolder this battery. Maybe the reason it stopped working is just a bad battery. All right, the battery is disconnected, and it looks like we've got a couple joints here for the microphone and the speaker. Instead of popping those out, I'm just gonna desolder the cables. So the black ones are closer to the crown, and out comes this knockoff Apple Watch motherboard. Now right away, I don't see any evidence of moisture. Like the only thing that kind of looks funky is this little cap I think that was me accidentally putting some solder on it. Yeah, nothing wrong in the connectors. No corrosion on the motherboard anywhere. No burnt components. Now there is a little bit of wear on the Captain tape here, and that is one of the, that's either the anode or cathode for the battery. So maybe the battery had rubbed through the Captain tape and shorted out against the frame or something. So I'm going to go test this battery. It looks like it's a 3.7 volt, 220 milliamp, 0.81 watt hour battery. So we can put some power into this battery and see if anything happens. Alright, so we've got the back, the motherboard. Not much to this watch. There's the charging, crown, speaker, microphone, frame, and here we've got our little battery. Let's try giving it some juice here. Alright, we're drawing 0.08. We drew a little bit of current. I don't know if that's enough to get this guy to turn on. We might as well test and see. We'll connect up the display and the digitizer. And now that those are connected, I go solder on the battery real fast, and then we'll test it. I actually saw it come on for only a second. It switched off as soon as as soon as it really came on. I think what happened is the amount of time I spent charging the battery wasn't sufficient to keep it on for a long time. I'm gonna go solder on the wireless charger and then see if we can get this to charge. I think what might have happened is that battery got so dead that it wouldn't take a charge, and maybe it will now. Alright, let's see if anything happens if we plug this guy in. Oh, look at that. Powering down. Hold on. It says high watch when it comes on real quick, and then it goes straight to powering down. It might just be a bad battery. That being said, do you guys think it's worth even fixing, given that it's a knockoff? Let me know in the comments below. So that's what the inside of a knockoff Apple Watch looks like. Is it something that I should fix? Maybe the battery just needs a little bit more juice before it'll start charging, or maybe there's something else going on with it. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I know this was different than my normal videos, but I thought I'd share it with you anyway. Thanks a ton for watching. We'll see you in the next video.